Last night's game against the Anaheim Ducks had to be the most insane, unhinged game the Bruins have played in a very long time. I don't think I have the words in me to adequately describe what I watched. One thing that has become crystal clear: offense is not the problem. For a team with an incredible PK, they might as well not have any defenseman on the ice besides Nikita Zadorov. Can Sturm stop the hemorrhaging, or will management take things into their own hands and finally get rid of some of these assistant coaches? This is a Bruins tape-to-tape snapshot.
I'm at a loss, folks, as to how to even begin this snapshot with respect to the Boston Bruins game against the Anaheim Ducks on Thursday night. The Bruins lost 7-5 against a team that they should be able to beat. Stop me if you've heard that already in this early part of the season. Not only did they lose 7-5, one would think that when you score 5 goals, it would be enough to win a game in the National Hockey League. Oh no, but no, not with this year's version of the Boston Bruins, apparently. Thursday night's game was an embarrassment, and I'm not the only one saying that. Morgan Geekie said it, Jonas Korpisalo said it, and I'm sure that other players are thinking it if they haven't said it. Cam Neely needs to take this so-called vaunted defensive structure where he thought that this team would be so difficult to play against and light it on freaking fire. Because at this point, what I see is defensemen and forwards who look lost in our own end. And when I tell you lost, they don't seem to have a clue who is supposed to be doing what, which might leave our goaltenders wondering, what the hell is going on here? Is someone going to play the man? Is someone going to take care of the puck and make a play on the puck? It seems to me that even Coach Sturm is at a loss at this point. So I'm not sure where this team goes from here after all of the effort that was made in that third period for David Pastrnak and Morgan Geekie to score goals 25 seconds apart and then let the Anaheim Ducks back in again. I'm sorry, that is inexcusable in my view. Inexcusable. And the so-called leaders on this team, and I'm talking about Charlie McAvoy and David Pastrnak and whoever else in that locker room thinks that they're a leader, they had better start playing like leaders. Because if not, there are going to be some serious changes on this team. I don't know where those changes are coming from, because based on what Marco Sturm said, folks, we might be stuck with this roster as it's currently constructed for the foreseeable future. And the foreseeable future really doesn't look pretty at this point in time. When is the last time that any of us have watched a game where Charlie McAvoy has thrown a hit that has changed the momentum of the game for the Boston Bruins? Because the last time I saw Charlie McAvoy play with any type of aggressiveness was during the tournament last season when he represented Team USA. And before he got injured, we all said to ourselves, boy, oh boy, if that's the Charlie McAvoy that we can get on a regular recurring basis, this team will be in pretty good shape. But we haven't seen that out of Charlie McAvoy. Now, these issues are not exclusively on him, because there's lots of blame pie to go around. I see forwards who are unwilling to back check and to make a play in their own end. Dare I say that Nikita Zadorov, for all the shit that player took because of his contract, he has been, this season thus far, the Bruins' best defenseman. And in my mind, he's a better leader at this point than Charlie McAvoy is.
It feels like we are in a deep, dark hole from which we will never escape. And as long as the wrongs that were committed by management and ownership are not righted, we are doomed to repeat these losses over and over again. On Saturday, the Bruins play the Colorado Avalanche for the final time this season. Of all the losses that Boston has faced this year, it's the only one that was by multiple goals. Because Korpisalo played on Thursday night, we most certainly will see Jeremy Swayman in the net with the hopes of securing a much-needed win. Not much has changed for the Avs since last Saturday. They continue to be without a regulation loss, maintaining a 5-0-3 start for the season. They even went so far as to end Carolina's fantastic start and handed that team their first loss of the season. The Avs are among the top 3 teams leading the league in goal differential, and I can't imagine that will change anytime soon. They're also maintaining a 55+% shot attempts / Corsi for percentage compared to Boston's 48%. Yes, Boston has been getting more and more shots on goal. Last night they had 42 shots on goal to Anaheim's 30. But they have a lot of ground to cover on that front. And with the current state of Boston's defense, Jeremy better be praying to the hockey gods for some good luck, because he might as well be out there on his own. Boston was able to be a little more disciplined when it came to going on the PK last night, only taking 3 minor penalties and 1 matching 5 for fighting, but they are still going to need to be on top of their game. Can they actually pull it off? Make sure you rate and review the podcast to help us reach more listeners, and tune in weekly to our full podcast available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all podcast platforms.